3, 4. Burn it down! Burn it down! Burn it down!
Evening, everyone. We're in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for our Rwl Sn Rl. Glad you're here. I'm Wally Cardill, and in the booth with me, Johnny Bianco and GM Tex Lynch. Gang, the end of the summer is just around the corner, and we're getting ready to shift gears going into fall. As we wend our way towards the year-ending Memphis Billion in December, things have really gotten pretty intense around here, and tonight's card will be indicative of that.
You ain't wrong, Wally. How's everybody doing tonight? From the ring to backstage to in the front office, things have definitely become a little bit wilder. The upside of this, of course, is that we're getting some great wrestling out of it. And we're going to have some tonight, too. 2 great hours of RWL mat action you're definitely not going to want to miss. So hang out, stick around, because it is going to be a great night tonight. A whole bunch of dynamite matches you're not going to believe.
The rivalries have gotten really heated and will keep building up. Right up to the Labor Day Slamathon on September 1st, there's just so much happening. It's like, where do we start? Well, let's begin with tonight's opening matchup, which will put Rockin' Rick Boogs against the masked Boring Kino, Elve Gigante. Welcome, Winnipeg, to tonight's Rwl Sn Rl. Our opening contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Columbus, Ohio, weighing 234 pounds, Rick Boogs.
With his 1980s rock and roll style and sensibility, it's Rick Boogs back on the scene again tonight, set to rock it one-on-one against Elve Gigante, the masked Puerto Rican sensation. And well, guys, gotta admit, Rick Boogs has got kind of a sizable size advantage over Elve Gigante. Opinions, gentlemen?
I'll start by saying, I just don't know. Elve Gigante has been undeniably doing very well, but there's definitely something in what you're saying, Tex. Boogs outsizes and outweighs his opponent by about 30 pounds, and while that shouldn't really pose a problem for Elve Gigante, the size factor is actually more of a concern. The masked man, however, can move quicker, and thereby which can string more moves together simultaneously. Rick Boogs can win, only if he slows him down, but that's been proven hard to do even for some of our top-notch cruiserweights.
An excellent analysis, Mr. Cardill. What you think, GB?
I'd never embarrass Rick Boogs by suggesting he's not good enough, because he's very good. His opponent from Loiza, Puerto Rico, weighing 205 pounds, here is Elve Gigante. But when you look at the records, Elve Gigante has been doing way better. I think our guy in the odd mask has this one.
Bueno, para nuestros amigos de la comunidad hispana, Señor Cardill y Señor Bianco mantienen dos opiniones diferentes.
Hey, that's all right. You're pretty fluent with the Espanol Tex.
Hey man, when you're from Texas, it's a plus. It is still a pretty mild opening contest compared to some of the stuff that's going to be happening a little bit down the road. Referee Willie Johnson sounds the bell. Elve Gigante charges, misses with the clothesline. Rick Boogs gives him a hard whip to the ropes. Flying elbow takes Elve Gigante down to the canvas. Rick Boogs nails him with a kick. Keeps trying to grapple him. Look at this. Nice Hurricane Rana from Elve Gigante. A kick to the chest for Rick Boogs. Boogs back up on his feet. Gets a hold of Gigante before he can reach the ropes. He delivers an elbow to the face. And double knees to the face as if that weren't enough. Gets a hold of him, kick to the midsection. And boom, beautiful flipping slam with a pin here. One. Just a one. Damn. Well, that would have been cool. Elve Gigante gathers up Rick Boogs, delivers a kick to the leg, a shot to the midsection, and slams him face first into the mat. Beautiful, beautiful moonsault. Elve Gigante goes for a second one. Rick Boogs finding himself with all kinds of trouble in the early goings right here. Boom, a knee right across the arm of Rick Boogs. Elve Gigante starts raining right hands on the head of Rick Boogs. Boogs not mounting a whole lot of offense here. Elva Gigante all the way up from the top. Oh, man, beautiful crossbody right across the chest of Rick Boogs. Boogs rounded up again. Elva Gigante gets a hold of him by the ankles, and here we go. It's whirligig time, and Rick Boogs is going for a ride. Another moonsault from Elva Gigante. Oh, yeah, here we go. He is in a mood this evening. Rick Boogs in big trouble here. Slams Elva Gigante face first to the canvas. Trying to put out the fire here. Rolling elbow across the chest of Elva Gigante. Finally, Rick Boogs mounting some offense here. He's got him up in a bear hug. Referee Willie Johnson checking things out. But nope. Elva Gigante nails him with a couple of elbows and a double ear clap, and that backs Rick Boogs off. And here we go. Look at this. Here we go. Wheelbarrow DDT from Elva Gigante. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Oh, wow. Well, that was abrupt. Elva Gigante wins by pinfall.
The time, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And your winner by pinfall, Elva Gigante.
Man, he must have someplace he needs to be in a rip of a hurry. Elva Gigante wrapping this one up in 2 minutes and 5 over Rick Boogs. And, well, even I can't kind of believe that. That's just incredible.
Incredible is right. I swore up and down. We were in for a long, far more competitive matchup. But give the masked Gigante his due. I've never seen the guy this dialed in, and I do mean ever. Man, if he could do that every match.
Hey, our shows would be a hell of a lot shorter. We'll be right back with more Snarl in a minute. All right, people, it is a packed show tonight, so we're starting the ladies' division hijinks off a little bit early. Up next, it's going to be Christy Hemme, set to go against the Memphis Millionaires, Jody Vorick, and that's going to be a wild one.
The following ladies' division contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Los Angeles, California, here's Christy Hemme.
Dag Hammer Skilled. We haven't seen Christy Hemme since March of last year in a match with Patty Powers. That aside, Christy Hemme is back on the scene and set to face the Memphis Millionaires in this match. But as she's been away for so long, I don't know enough to make any kind of estimations on her. So, I'm siding with Jody in this match.
Wally, Dag Hammer Skilled, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Let me show off a little. It's an exclamation I've used for a long time. Dag Hammer Skilled was the very first United Nations Secretary.
Oh, well, that's a relief. I thought it was some obscenity we'd get called on.
Her opponent, from Fontana, California, Memphis Millionaires, the Winnipeg Jody Vorick. The Whip Kittens never competed against Christy Hemme before, so there's another factor to be looked at. And while Jody's been having an excellent year, Hemme has been gone an awfully long time. And I mean, who knows? We could just as easily see her picking up an upset win tonight, even with Jody heavily favored to win this one.
Well, that's a valid point. I mean, it could happen, although I really don't think it will. Man, check out Jody trying to out-sexy Christy Hemme here. I guess that's kind of a thing. Oh, man. Well, Whip Kitten, the Memphis Millionaires winner last year, won the Ladies Memphis Million and has just been skyrocketing the success all the way through. Turned herself away from the Bell Council, and now the fans are starting to really react to it.
Definitely gathered more than a few new fans in 2025, and she's also a former Women's International Champion, which means another title run somewhere along the way is a very real possibility.
But that's also down the road away. Right now, Jody has to focus on Christy Hemme.
Well, if you remember the Hell in the Cell earlier this past March with Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote, focus is not one of Jody's problems. Willie Johnson rings the bell. Christy Hemme charges, misses her grapple, catches a right from Jody Vorick. Jody Vorick locks her up. Christy Hemme delivers a kick to the midsection, and down goes Jody Vorick. Christy Hemme wound up, slammed face first to the canvas by the arm. Christy Hemme goes behind, catches an elbow to the face. A kick, a right, a left. But a fireman's carry from Christy Hemme, pretty decent counter. Jody with a kick, a right, a left again, and a forearm that backs off Christy Hemme, backs her off again, axe kick, and down goes Christy. Here's a quick cover. One. Man. One kidding about Jody being focused, huh? Okay. Jody stalking Christy Hemme. turns her around, knee to the head, and a clothesline. Nice parlay of moves from the Whip Kitten. Jody misses with that spin kick. Christy Hemme takes her down by the leg. Basement drop kick across the back, and a second one. Jody Warwick grappled up, a knee to the head from Christy Hemme, and that was nicely done too. Jody rolls out to the floor. Christy Hemme up on the top turnbuckle here. And here we go. Cross. Jody caught her. Get shut up. Scoop slams her to the floor. Man. Well, while Christy Hemme may not have any ring rust, Jody is still in charge here. A couple of hard kicks to the leg of Christy Hemme. Christy driven into the barricade by Jody Warwick. The Memphis Millionaires makes her way back inside the ring. Oh, holy, did you see that? What? She went sailing over that top rope. Jody Warwick opens up with another combination on Christy Hemme on the outside as the referee starts the count all over again. Jody with a stomp to the head of Christy Hemme. She rounds up Christy, a kick, another kick, a hard right, and a spin kick that drops her like a bad habit. Christy Hemme counters with a shove away, moves in on Jody Warwick, drives her into the barricade in turn. Christy Hemme trying to battle back here. Pitches Jody towards the other side, towards the barricades, but doesn't quite make it. Jody looks provoked. I know that walk. Christy Hemme with a kick that doesn't connect. Jody with a move that sure as hell did. Oh, man. Christy Hemme catches a kick. Jody Warwick winds up the... oh, man, look at this. The air raid siren. Oh, man. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. But no good. Christy Hemme getting that left shoulder. Oh, man, Jody's mad. I'm telling you, she is not in a good mood with Christy Hemme right now. Jody Warwick charges, flying. Oh, man, what a flying punch that was. Christy Hemme grappled up by Jody. Jody catches a couple of elbows from Christy. Christy Hemme locks up Jody. Here's a kick to the midsection and a face buster. Jody trying to get back up. Christy tags her with a right, spins her around. Wow, nice neck breaker from Christy Hemme. Christy drags Jody towards center. And there's the split leg drop. Well, that could be bad news for Miss Warwick here. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. But no. Jody pops up that left shoulder. Now Christy Hemme is equally provoked. Man. That's turned into a real catfight, hasn't it? Christy. Oh, man, Jody put the brakes on her, but an enziguri with a little surprise from Christy Hemme. Jody in the corner. Christy charges. Clothesline takes Jody down into the corner. Jody counters with a kick. Gets back up on her feet. Locks up Christy Hemme. Christy Hemme counters with a kick to the midsection. Down goes Jody Warwick. Jody laid out as Christy Hemme makes her way up to the middle rope. Waiting for Jody to stand herself on up. Here it goes. Hurricane Rana. Like I said, no ring rust on Christy Hemme, obviously. A kick to the leg to Jody. And another. Christy Hemme regaining control here for the moment, but Jody quickly counters, gets back up on her feet. Christy Hemme struggling to make her way to the corner. Jody Warwick right there waiting for her. Christy counters with an elbow. Charges. Fails to connect with that kick. Locks up Jody again. Hard whip to the ropes. Misses the flying punch. Catches a stomp from Jody. Jody's losing it. Hard left hands to the side of the head of Christy Hemme. Christy gathered up by Jody Warwick. Jody has her by the scruff of the neck. Pitches her up against the ropes. A slap across the face. Here we go. Oh, man. Handstand double knees to the back. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. We are having ourselves more than our share of hasty matches tonight as Jody Warwick picks up the pinfall win.
The time, 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Jody Warwick. Man, Jody has really come into her own this year. Christy Hemme put in a pretty good effort. She tried really hard, even going with a few high-risk moves. But it was so. Not good enough to take down the Memphis Millionaires. I get the feeling when I see Jody that it may not be too long before we see her competing for a title again.
Well, that is entirely up to Jody Warwick, but she sure took a step in the right direction here, folks. We'll be back with more RWL Sn Rl right after the break. Don't you go anywhere.
Next, new arrival, the Greek hustler, Ari Alexandros, is 2 for 2 against Karrion Kross and Ty Schmidt. But can he make it 3 in a row against the Toxic Tables Boston Connor? Let's take it to ringside and find out. This next contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Parnassus Queensway, 262 pounds, the Greek hustler, Ari Alexandros.
Great, I finally get to see this Alexandros in action, up close and personal. Plus, his two previous wins were pretty fast ones, so maybe we'll get to see what Ari does if this match with Boston Connor runs long. The Greek hustler's first appearance on Sn Rl, having made his debut on Rage against Karrion Kross, and on our WL Championship Wrestling midweek against Ty Schmidt. Yes, he is 2 for 2, but we still haven't seen the man face a heavy-duty challenge yet.
Hoppa in 3D. Well, I'll tell you what, I seen him the other night with Chicago Danny Awesome on Championship, and he was really impressive against Ty Schmidt. He did some pretty cool stuff. He is not afraid to take high-risk moves off the top turnbuckle. In fact, he kind of likes it.
I saw the show. You say he's still deciding which show he wants to be part of. Do you think you'd like him enough to have him on Sn Rl?
Haven't met him good enough to really get to know him. I mean, that's me and Steve Groves, neither one of us. We've met him informally, but he doesn't mind he does not mind working. I mean, come on, this is his 3rd match already this week.
A consistent winner with a good work ethic. Geez, I don't know, man. Maybe you should really think about seeing if he wants to commit to Sn Rl.
I'm thinking about it hot and heavy, Wally.
His opponent accompanied by AJ Hawk. From parts unknown, weight unknown, here is Boston Connor.
It's Temusa Martino and Hamburglar time, Rwl. Boston Connor, still riding his one and only claim to fame, a debut win over the Big Boss Man. That's only happened once before, when Jet Williams of Les Femmes Fatales flipped on and Casey in her first match. The difference being Jet kept winning, but Boston Connor, well, there's no other way to describe his record except spotty at best. And with Ari Alexandros standing at Toando, it's gonna take a major miracle for Boston Connor to pull off a win against the Greek hustler.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what. He won his first match against Karrion Kross. That was a narrow thing. His win on Championship against Ty Schmidt was a much bigger deal and much more to the point. I really do not think the Hamburglar has much of a chance.
You seem pretty much sold on Ari Alexandros. If you're gonna get him on Sn Rl regularly, you better snatch him up before Steve Groves over at Rage gets the same idea.
You got a good point there, GB. All right, really interested to see what Mr. Alexandros has in store for us this evening against Boston Connor, who sure looks different without his Hamburglar clothes on. Walt Rothburn rings the bell. They come center ring. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Ari whipped to the far right corner, an elbow to the chest from Boston Connor. Now putting the knee right to the chest of the Greek hustler as AJ Hawk looks on. Oh man, Myron's favorite pigeons. He's going to make or break them one way or the other. Kick to the midsection and a DDT from Boston Connor. Ari Alexandros laid out as Boston Connor takes himself all the way up to the top turnbuckle, and here we go. Well executed moonsault. Give the devil his due. Ari Alexandros still laid out, and look at this, doing all kinds of showing off, Boston Connor. Oh, here we go, a rebound off the ropes, misses with the leg drop. Ari up real quick. Wrap around DDT to Boston Connor. Ari Alexandros gathers him up. Arm breaker. Oh, man. And into an armbar. This guy parlays moves pretty fast for a guy his size, 6'6", 262. Big stomp to the back for Boston Connor. Connor catches a knee to the arm. Ari Alexandros starting to fire back here on Boston Connor as he makes his way to a standing position on the outside apron. Hard right from Ari. A counter from Boston Connor makes his way back inside the ring. Couple of chops to Ari Alexandros. Another kick, and a standing drop kick takes Ari down to the mat. And now Boston Connor stretching the arm of the Greek Hustler. Well, this one's gone back and forth already. Look at this top rope moonsault. Nicely done by Boston Connor. He may make something of himself someday yet. Ari Alexandros on the apron against the ropes. Counters the shoulder tackle. Gets himself back inside. Locks up with Boston. Boston Connor counters with elbows to the midsection. Gets a hold of Ari. Whip to the ropes. Elbow to the face. Down goes Ari Alexandros. Boston Connor getting ready to go high risk again off the top. Another beautiful moonsault. And here's another cover. 1, 2. Nope. No good. Gonna have to start all over again, Mr. Connor. Boston Connor lays in a fist drop right into the face of the Greek Hustler. Ari fighting his way up to a standing position again. Gets a, oh man, look at this. Counter whips Boston Connor out onto the apron. Shoulder tackle and down he goes. Now here's what I'm talking about, guys. Take a look at this. Up off the top turnbuckle, and here we go. A chop across the top of the head of Boston Connor. This guy is not scared to jump off things. Oh man, look at this here. Referee counting. As Ari Alexandros drives a couple of knees into the leg of Boston Connor, follows that up with a stomp to the back. Ari lines up the arm on Boston, a kick to the gut. Alexandros locks him up. Head first into the apron. Ow. AJ Hawk can't do nothing but look on. They lock up again. Boston Connor figuring on where he's going to take him. He's taking too long. There you go. He wasted too much time. Elbows to the gut. Ari with another wraparound DDT right in front of AJ Hawk. And if AJ Hawk's smart, he'll stay out of the way. Boston Connor being escorted towards the ring. Ari Alexandros having his problems getting him in there. Wow. Elbows to the midsection. A counter from Boston Connor. Boston locks him up, rolls him back inside. And here he comes. Ari Alexandros from behind. A hard shot to the back. Hard whip to the right into the referee. Hard right, spins him around. He's got him up. Look at this. A torture rack, a possible submission, but too close to the ropes. Cut. Did you see the look Ari gave Walt Rothburn? Off the top, there's a leg drop right across the throat of Boston Connor. And he is laid out. Ari drags him towards center. Covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. We've had a lot of quick matches tonight. Damn. Ari Alexandros picks up the win by pinfall.
The time, 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Ari Alexandros.
Well, tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, gentlemen. The Greek Hustler racking up his 3rd win over Boston Connor here. And I think you're right, GB. I think I need to have myself a little sit-down with Mr. Alexandros real soon. Folks, tag team action coming up when we return here on RWL Sn Rl. We'll be right back.
Hi fans, Aria Mitchell, Rage Ring announcer here. Well, all summer long, RWL has brought the excitement with this year's Sweet Revenge Summer Tour. But all good things must come to an end, and some endings are just new beginnings. Join us Monday, September 1st, as we begin the road towards December's year-ending Memphis Million with RWL Labor Day Slamathon. That's Monday, Labor Day, September 1st. We'd love to see you there.
Listen, Frankie, I know you and Mart have been training like fucking maniacs all this week, and you've been working on your speed. So don't you let those fucking Nobody's Chance and Carter screw all over again. I need you to remember there's a title match with American Powers for us next week. If y'all beat those two tonight.
Hey, only reason we lost is Marta didn't make the save in time. But that's not gonna happen again tonight. We want that title match.
Hell's fucking bells. That's what I want to hear. I got nothing personal against Patty and Danielle, but they've had those belts maybe just a bit too long. I'm counting on you and Marta to bring those fucking belts to the Stronghold. and I know y'all can do that shit.
Don't worry, Sylvie. Marta and me are more than ready to deal with Caden and Katana this time around. We won't let you down against them or American powers.
I'm sure you won't. I've watched y'all training, so I'm fucking sure of y'all. Tonight, Katana and Caden. Next week, the women's world titles. Keep your eyes on the prize, babe, and you too will fucking make it.
We're ready, Sylvie. It's our time to score one more for the stronghold.
Y'all know what that would mean to us, and me and the crew are all behind you. Hey, we're up next, and Marta's already waiting, so let's fucking get ready.
Alright, well, last week we saw Caden Carter and Katana Chance pick up a win over Power and Beauty. This week we're doing it all over again, but this time it's a little bit different. This one is for the #1 contendership for the Women's World Tag Team Championships.
The following tag team contest is for the #1 contendership for the RWL Women's World Tag Team Championships. Introducing first, accompanied by Sylvia Strong. From Robbinsdale, Minnesota, Francis Frankie Picone. And from Van Nuys, California, Marta Gordon Power and Beauty.
Yes, this rematch between Carter and Chance, and Power and Beauty wouldn't even be happening, but for the fact that Caden and Katana eked out a super narrow win after a long and difficult match with Frankie and Marta. So, Johnny, what's the deal behind the scenes with the Stronghold?
This doesn't have a lot to do with Sylvie, the choice for this rematch, coming from Myron Schimmelman and the front office. While there were a few other teams that were being considered, Titania Tatiana and Showbiz and Kanari Doku didn't have strong enough records to warrant serious consideration. So this rematch became the go-to choice in the front office.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Sylvia was asked if Frankie and Marta were willing to do a rematch, and after a brief discussion with them, the rematch was signed. Caden and Katana were cooler on the idea, but didn't want to look fearful of a rematch. Their opponents, the team of Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
A lot of fans saw that win last week by Caden and Katana as something of a fluke with a little bit of good luck, with Marta Gordon unable to make the save on Frankie Picone during that pinfall. But here we are back again. Same match, different week, only this time it's for the #1 contendership for the Women's World Tag Team Championships, and whoever wins this match will be facing American Powers next week.
And what are Patty Powers and Liberty Bell Danielle thinking about all this? Like, who would they prefer to face next week for the belts?
Not too sure about what Patty's thinking, but Danielle's like, it don't matter who it is, they're going to face them next week and beat them. You know Danielle.
What if Danielle's wrong about that?
Then she wrong. Frankie Picone and Katana Chance starting us off here as referee Willie Johnson rings the bell, and off we go to the races. Collar and elbow tie up. Frankie Picone opens it up with a cravat suplex on Katana Chance. Misses with the drop kick. Katana Chance drives an elbow to the top of the skull. Frankie Picone counters with a kick. Katana Chance catches a knee to the arm on the wrong side of town too. Hard right to the head. Another one from Frankie. Frankie Picone rounds up Katana Chance. Arm breaker. Parlayed into an armbar. As Marta Gordon and Sylvia Strong look on. Whole lot riding on this particular matchup. Frankie Picone going to work on the arm of Katana Chance again and snaps it. I see a strategy being formed here. Frankie Picone. Leg grapevine on Katana Chance. Referee calls for the break. A cheap shot from Marta Gordon. Katana Chance rounded up by Frankie, but countered with elbows to the midsection. Frankie Picone backed off a few steps. Katana with a right gets a hold of Frankie Picone. Front cradle. Carries her halfway across the ring. Delivers a smash to the back and pitches her out to the center of the ring. Katana Chance. Here we go. Rebound off the rope and basement Hurricane Rana head first into the canvas goes Frankie Picone. Here comes Caden Carter on the tag. Frankie Picone back up on her feet. They lock it up. Picone whipped to the far right corner. Katana Chance drives a knee into her head. Goes behind on her, an elbow to the face from Frankie. She goes behind on Caden Carter. Nice suplex. Frankie Picone rounds her up. There's that arm breaker again, and then an arm bar. The same one her tag team partner just got. Frankie Picone not doing too badly for herself as she steps out, and here comes Marta Gordon. Caden Carter waiting for her. Marta Gordon takes a little ride at the hands of Caden Carter. Marta goes behind, catches an elbow to the face. Oh, look at this. Oh, man, here's that octopus stretch from Caden Carter on Marta Gordon. The referee checking it out, but Marta Gordon finds her way out and turns it into a drop toe hold. Marta rounded up by Caden Carter, whipped to the far right corner. Here comes Caden, working on the arm of Marta Gordon against the ropes. Marta Gordon about to catch a little bit more, a kick to the leg from Caden Carter. They lock it up again. A series of driving knees to the midsection of Marta Gordon from Caden Carter, who steps out and tags in Katana Chance. Marta Gordon struggling to stand up here as Katana Chance moves in, rounds her up, locks her up, whips her right back into the corner again, pulls her out, has her up for a scoop slam. Katana Chance, deceptively powerful, up on the middle rope as Marta Gordon makes her way to the corner, tags in Frankie Picone. Katana Chance changes her mind on the high. Whoa! Damn, what a clothesline. Frankie Picone catches a right from Katana Chance, catches a kick to the midsection from Frankie Picone, another drop toe hold into another leg submission. Caden Carter making the save here. Frankie Picone catches a kick. Caden Carter misses with the kick, catches a clothesline to the back of the head. That'll teach you to interfere. Frankie Picone winds up the arm on Katana Chance, stomps the shoulder. So far, Power and Beauty very much in control of things as Marta Gordon takes over. Marta locks up Katana Chance, hard whip to the ropes. Here's a duck under from Marta and a drop kick that takes Katana Chance down on the wrong side of town again. Marta Gordon rounds her up, gets a hold of her, sets it up, sidewalk slam, and a quick one. Wow, there's a stomp to the midsection from Marta. Sylvia Strong, definitely driven to see her ladies compete next week against American Powers. And, well, they have been training like wow. Marta Gordon rounds up Katana Chance, escorts her to her team's corner, head first into the buckle she goes, but catches a cheap shot from Frankie Picone. Marta Gordon gets a hold of her again. Nice suplex from Marta. Marta steps out. Here comes Frankie Picone again as Katana Chance beats it out of town, and here comes Caden Carter again. Fresh partners all the way around. Hard right from Frankie. Goes behind on Caden. Side super. Oh, good. A pin, too. 1, 2. Well, that's damn close to a near fall right there. Frankie Picone. Snap suplex to Caden Carter as Frankie beats it out of town, and here's Marta Gordon on the tag. Caden Carter locks up Marta, whips her to the ropes, makes the duck under, makes the leapfrog. Here comes Marta. Ooh, low drop kick to the knee from Caden Carter. Marta Gordon locks up Caden Carter, whips her to the far right corner, misses with the driving knee. Caden Carter tags her with a right, gets a hold of her. Marta Gordon counters with elbows. Marta goes behind on Caden Carter. Headlock into a headlock punch. Down goes Caden Carter. There's a stomp to the shoulder from Marta Gordon. Marta Gordon with a series of mounted punches, hard lefts to the face of Caden Carter. Man, Power and Beauty ain't fooling around tonight, huh? Look at this. Marta Gordon with a stomp to Caden Carter. As she beats it back to her corner, here comes Frankie Picone again. Team working very efficiently. Frankie Picone. Catch. Oh, look, it's from behind. Caden Carter with an inverted DDT on Frankie Picone. Frankie catches a hard forearm from Caden Carter, and down she goes. Here comes Katana Chance again. Frankie Picone waiting for her. Wow, dodged the kick. Frankie Picone with another cravat suplex on Katana Chance, who gets a hold of Marta Gordon. Frankie Picone going to work on Caden Carter on the other side. Marta Gordon taken down by Katana Chance. Referee counting. Frankie Picone got to the outside. Got a hold of Katana, rolled her back inside the ring. Marta Gordon is laid out, not going to be much use when you're looking for a tag. Katana Chance stops to do a little showboating. Big mistake. Frankie Picone countered with an elbow. Kick to the midsection from Katana. Facebuster from Katana. Frankie Picone laid out face first into canvas. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. One. But no. Not even a two. Caden Carter brought in on the tag. Sylvia Strong absolutely frantic on the outside here. Hard right spins Frankie around. Caden Carter with an inverted facebuster. Hard right. Frankie counters with a hard right. Catches a kick from Caden Carter. They lock it up again. Frankie Picone whip to the ropes. Drop toe hold. And a little impromptu shiatsu from Caden Carter. Frankie Picone just ducking and dodging. Gets a hold of Caden Carter. And another cravat suplex. Frankie Picone with a stomp to the head. Beats at the hurt corner. Marta Gordon brought in on the tag. Caden Carter dodged by Marta Gordon. Caden whipped to the ropes. Another drop kick from Marta Gordon takes her down. Marta Gordon sets it up. Oh man, stomping the hands and fingers of Caden Carter. Not to say, I don't like to say too much, but I'm pretty sure Power and Beauty is a little bit annoyed with Caden Carter and Katana Chance having won that match last week. Marta Gordon stops to do a little showboat and get a little love from the fans in Winnipeg as Katana Chance is brought in on the tag. Well, both ladies missed that move. Katana Chance catches an elbow from Marta. Marta goes behind. Tried for the atomic drop, but no, look at that. Katana Chance evading the atomic drop. Marta whipped to the ropes. Catches a kick. Catches a second. Catches a third, and down goes Marta Gordon as Katana Chance takes it to her corner, turns it over to Caden Carter. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the #1 contendership for the Women's World Tag Team titles. And one of these teams will face American Powers next Saturday on Snarl. Caden Carter takes Marta Gordon down to the mat. Oh, man. Low drop kick to the side of the head for Marta Gordon. Caden Carter again with driving knees to the midsection of Marta Gordon, and down she goes. A stomp to the gut. As Katana Chance is brought in, Marta Gordon is outside, and the referee just about to start the count here. Well, don't bother, Willie. Marta Gordon back inside the ring. Locks up Katana Chance. Hard whip to the ropes. Another drop kick to Katana Chance. Marta Gordon with a kick to the side. Marta Gordon winds up the arm on Katana Chance, gets her down on her hands and knees, and there's a stomp to the shoulder. As Marta Gordon tags in Frankie Picone. Katana Chance laid out. Frankie Picone takes her down into a serious armbar, a kneeling armbar with nowhere for Katana Chance to go. Willie Johnson asking what she wants to do, but here Caden Carter making the rescue right here. Marta Gordon shows her the outside. Frankie Picone. Oh, well, we just lost the referee, too. Here's another torturous leg submission from Frankie Picone with no referee to monitor the situation. Katana Chance favoring that knee now as Frankie Picone begins to stalk Katana Chance. Takes her back down to the canvas, and again right into that self-same armbar. Katana Chance is tapping out. That is it. Power and Beauty are the new #1 contenders for the Women's World Tag Team Championships. Let's get the official time from Buck Morton.
The time, 10 minutes and 50 seconds. And your winners by submission, Power and Beauty.
Well, things just changed up dramatically for AP, who probably would have preferred to face Carter and Chance for the belts. But now, they're gonna be up against the Strongholds to ladies, and that could prove to be a game changer for American Powers, who will probably have to work just that much harder to hang on to the titles. Man alive, the writing's on the wall for a very intense Women's World Tag Titles match next week.
It most definitely is, and more Snarl right after the break.
Up next, the Unholy Trinity, minus primetime Bobby Mills comes back looking for some payback against MJ Ferrantino as they face Wanton Jay and Vicious Ace Vandal, the Vandal brothers.
Tag team contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 336 pounds, the team of Big Bob Duncan and Dirty Dutch Mantell, the Unholy Trinity.
More like the unholy duopoly right about now. Dutch Mantell and Big Bob Duncan, minus primetime Bobby Mills, who was escorted out of the building after his last match by a stretcher.
Primetime's travel arrangements were made by the Texas Hangman, but this week, MJ Ferrantino reaches into his almost bottomless stable, selecting Jay and Ace Vandal to finish the job, or at the very least, inflict more damage on Dutch and Bobby Duncan.
With the Ferrantino group fighting wars on two fronts against the Trinity, and Bell Unlimited, MJ Ferrantino has urged Scott Bell to be watching this match as a possible look into his stable's future. And their opponents, accompanied by MJ Ferrantino, and at a combined weight of 666 pounds, Wanted Jay and Vicious Ace Vandal, the Vandal brothers. And with one style, he sent this message to Bell. I quote, "Look upon Christmas yet to come, Ebenezer too short." Wow, he's got a colorful sense of humor too.
Well, you can't go wrong quoting Charles Dickens now, can you? Jay and Ace, the Vandal brothers. And that's Ace up front and Wanton Jay in the back, walking alongside MJ Ferrantino. And, well, this team has done some pretty amazing things over their years with RWL.
Smooth choice picking the Vandals, who are fully rested, against a weakened and faltering Dutch and Duncan, who are both still smarting from the beatings handed out by the Texas Hangman. Ferrantino playing some serious 3v chess against Bell Unlimited.
He is a thinking man's manager. That's why they call him the mathematician.
The Whiz Kid is definitely not easy to figure out, and not easy to fool either. Ferrantino's got the means, motive, and opportunity to, at the very, very least, cripple both the Trinity and Bell Unlimited at least for a while. Can't say I like Duncan and Dutch Mantell's odds against those two hulking, face-painted brutes.
All right, Wanton Jay and Bobby Duncan starting off as the bell sounds. Here we go. Bobby Duncan with a backbreaker right out of the gate on Wanton Jay Vandal. Duncan drives a knee into the chest of Jay Vandal. Bobby Duncan rounds him up. Jay counters with a right. Rounds up Duncan, pays him back for the backbreaker with another one. Wanton Jay catches a leg sweep from Bobby Duncan. Duncan rounds up Wanton Jay again. Whips him to his team's corner. Jay counters and finds his way out. Duncan with an elbow. Jay with a fireman's carry. Wanton Jay Vandal rounds up Bobby Duncan by the trunk. Snap suplex for Big Bob Duncan. Wanton Jay Vandal drags him towards the Vandal brothers' corner. Here comes Ace Vandal on the tag. MJ Ferrantino watching eagerly, wanting to see Bobby Duncan and Dutch Mantell get what for here, and they're going to get it. Ace with a fist drop on Bobby Duncan. Duncan counters with a shot to the midsection. Ace counters, jumping neckbreaker. Takes Duncan down to the mat again. Ace covers, but no good, not even a one. Ace Vandal drives a knee into the back of the head of Big Bob Duncan. Follows that up with a stomp to the head. That'll give you a headache for sure. Bobby Duncan kind of ragdolly as Ace drops another fist on his head. Bobby Duncan rounded up again. Whip to the Vandal brothers' corner. There's a clothesline from Ace Vandal. There's a stomp to the back. Ace turns him over. Snaps the leg. Oh, man. Jay Vandal watching as his little brother Ace works on Big Bob Duncan. Ace countered into the wrong team's corner. A kick to the face to Duncan, a shot to the back of the head, and Ace Vandal Gets a hold of him by the scruff. He's going to take him to Vandal Brothers corner. Oh, on second thought, there's a snapmare. A couple of hard elbows into the shoulder of Big Bob Duncombe. Duncombe rolls him up for the pin. Look at this. Willie Johnson has to go. 1, 2. Oh, man. Close call for the Vandal Brothers as Dirty Dutch Mantell is brought in on the tag. Ace Vandal moves in, catches it right from Dutch, delivers an elbow to the face of Dutch. Dutch with a series of kicks to the leg of Ace Vandal. Ace counters with the right, gets a hold of Dutch Mantell, whips him to the Vandal Brothers corner. Dutch counters, finds his way out, takes care of Walton Jay at the same time, gets a hold of Ace Vandal, whips him to his team's corner. And here's a tag to Big Bob Duncombe. Double team incoming. Drop toe hold and an elbow across the back of Ace Vandal. Bobby Duncombe trying to drum up some support here in Winnipeg. Good luck with that one. Elbow to the midsection from Ace. Drop toe hold. Leaves Ace draped on the middle rope. Big Bob Duncombe driving all that weight from his leg into the back of Ace Vandal. What is going on here? Bobby Duncombe rounded up by Ace Vandal. Spinning neck breaker. Ace gathers him up, counter, elbow to the midsection from Duncombe. Duncombe whips Ace to his team's corner. Ace counters, puts Duncombe in the corner, whips him to the opposing team's corner. And here comes Walton Jay on the tag. Double team coming up, here we go. Drop toe hold, elbow across the back of Big Bob Duncombe. Jay rounds him up. They rock, they lock up, they tussle. Oh, well, disqualified right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 minutes and 1 second, referee Willis Johnson has disqualified Big Bob Duncombe. Your winners by way of disqualification, the Vandal Brothers.
But whoa, hang on a minute, we ain't done. Well, it's total anarchy in there now. Both teams just going absolutely berserk. The Vandal Brothers certainly not appreciating the disqualification. Oh, man. Jay and Ace leaning house over here on the unholy trinity, and well, the whole thing's exploded. MJ Ferrantino has beat it out of town to leave his boys to do whatever it is they got to do. Man, this is nuts. Dutch Mantell with a hard right to Jay Vandal. Ace Vandal has taken down Big Bob Duncombe. Duncombe rounded up again. Fireman's carry from Bobby Duncombe. Jay Vandal rounded up by Dutch Mantell. Dutch whips him right into his brother. Dutch whips him into the far corner. Jay Vandal in trouble in the corner here as Dutch Mantell gets ready to set him up for a top rope superplex. Bobby Duncombe catching a backbreaker and a Russian leg sweep from Ace Vandal. And oh man, oh, this is just so crazy. Oh, well now, it looks as if the unholy duopoly has won this battle in the war. MJ Ferrantino certainly not going to like this news. The unholy trinity earning themselves a disqualification with a low blow. The Vandal Brothers win the match, but they don't look very much like winners right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more RWL Sn Rl right after this. We're wrapping up the first hour with a champions duel. The light heavyweight champion, the battling Briton Sir Reggie Smythe, and cruiserweight champion Gary Galaxy, both set to go at it in a non-title scrap.
This next non-title champions duel is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Snarl TV champion Timber Valesky from London, England, weighing 217 pounds. He's the reigning RW light heavyweight champion, Sir Reggie Smythe. Team Euro, the ever-inseparable pair of Tibor Balescu and the battling Briton, enjoying the luxury of a non-title champions duel. But both will be defending their titles by the Labor Day Slamathon September 1st. And who for? Rich and Gary, not exactly what you'd call simpatico. No one's even sure why, as Reggie maintains a true gentleman's decorum, gladly refusing to tell tales out of school against even an opponent he's not crazy about.
Our occasional broadcast colleague Reggie has had a dynamite run so far with the light heavyweight
Sylvia Strong. From Chesapeake, Virginia, weighing 195 pounds, he's the reigning RWL Cruiserweight Champion, the prototype, Gary Galaxy.
And on the other side of the ring, one of the most successful cruiserweights on the roster, the prototype is one of the Stronghold's more successful single stars in a wide array of tag team title holders. I suppose Sylvia's already rocking that smile, knowing Power and Beauty have secured their title match against American Powers next week in London. Man, oh man alive, what a match that's gonna be. Even without the cruiserweight belt on the line, Gary, as mentioned before, no member of the Sir Reggie Smythe Fan Club, so don't expect no polite exhibition in this champions duel.
Two champions and neither one crazy about the other. I'm sure they're both relieved no titles are on the line in this one, but they are definitely going to let their fists do the talking. Oh, guys, even without the title on the line, there are a few things more exciting than a champions duel, and we got a hell of a good one here. Referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. Sir Reggie charges, gets a hold of Gary Galaxy, pitches him over the top rope out on the apron. Gary counters with a right, gets his way back inside. Sir Reg spins him around with a hard right, goes behind on him. Oh man, clubbing blow to the chest from Sir Reggie Smythe. Gary Galaxy misses with a drop kick. Sir Reggie goes behind again, Russian leg sweep. The battling Briton catches a kick to the midsection from Gary Galaxy, counters Gary Galaxy, locks him up. Sir Reggie gets a hold of him, got the arm over the shoulder, got a hold on the trunks. He's measuring the weight, and here it goes. Not vertical suplex from Sir Reggie. Running dropkick misses the mark. Gary tags him with a right. Sir Reggie counters with another right. Gary counters with a left. Sir Reggie counters him. Sir Reggie Smythe drives a knee into the head of Gary Galaxy. The prototype rounded up to a standing position here. By the battling Briton, up over the shoulders goes Gary Galaxy. Escorted to the far right corner, head first into the turnbuckle he goes, and down into a seated position. Whoa! Sir Reggie losing his cool a little bit early here. Well, he broke it up. I mean, what can I tell you? Sir Reggie Smythe covers and hooks the leg. One, but just a one. Gary getting that shoulder up right just on time. Gary Galaxy pitches Sir Reggie over the top rope and out onto the floor. And here he comes. Sir Reggie right into a jumping neckbreaker on Gary Galaxy. Sir Reggie drives a knee into the head of the prototype. Sir Reggie Smythe with an arm snap. Gary counters with a kick, gets back up on his feet, takes himself back on inside the ring. And here comes Sir Reggie Smythe right after him. Gary Galaxy talking about bring it on. And Sir Reggie's going to do that. Right into the referee. Fortunately, we didn't lose him. Clothesline takes Gary Galaxy down. There's a stomp to the back. And into another choke from Sir Reggie Smythe. He and Gary Galaxy are not exactly the best of friends. Gary catches a kick to the face from Sir Reggie Smythe. The battling Briton with an arm snap on the prototype. Gary counters with a kick, gets back up on his feet. Delivers a knee to the arm of Sir Reggie Smythe. There's a stomp to the midsection. Gary rounds him up, snaps the arm again. Gary with a moonsault, but catching a couple of knees from Sir Reggie. Reggie with a running drop kick to the back of Gary Galaxy. Turns him over. Sir Reggie Smythe setting up the Boston Crab, but too close to the ropes. It's no good. He's going to have to start all over again. Sir Reggie Smythe rolls the knee right into the head of Gary Galaxy, but he got out of the way. Gary misses with another dropkick, catches a right to the head from Sir Reggie. Sir Reggie gouging the face of Gary Galaxy. Oh, man. Gary counters, gets back up. Rebounds off the middle rope, catches him with a nice spinning kick. And the tides might have turned right there. Gary locks up Sir Reggie, snap mare. Basement dropkick to the side of the head for Sir Reggie Smythe. Now Gary Galaxy's turn to repay him with a knee to the arm. The prototype quickly taking himself up to the top turnbuckle, and here it goes, elbow drop right across the chest of Gary Galaxy. And the momentum has shifted in favor of the Cruiserweight Champion. Gary with a beautiful spinning moonsault. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, but only a 2. Sir Reggie Smythe powering out of the pin. A jawjacker to Gary Galaxy. The battling Briton catches a couple of rights from Gary. A kick to the midsection from Sir Reggie. Gary counters Reggie. Reggie Smythe whipped to the ropes. German suplex from Gary Galaxy. Gary rounds up Sir Reggie. Locks him up. There's a snapmare. A rebound off the ropes and a running kick to the face of the battling Briton. The Cruiserweight champion with a wicked kick. And here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Oh, well, that was a near 3. Gary Galaxy with a stomp to the back of Sir Reggie Smythe. Sylvia Strong encouraging Gary Galaxy here. A series of stomps to the face. Again, these two really do not like each other very much. Sir Reggie laid out center ring as Gary makes the oh man, Sir Reggie got out of the way just in time. A hard right to the head. A second one. Sir Reggie Smythe whips Gary to the ropes. Makes the duck under. Here he comes. Back body drop to Gary Galaxy as Sir Reggie quickly takes him down. Covers 1, 2, 3, and that is it. Sir Reggie Smythe defeating Gary Galaxy by pinfall.
Time, 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Sir Reggie Smythe.
The battling Briton scoring himself a pinfall win over one of his more despised rivals, the prototype Gary Galaxy, winning this matchup by pinfall. A pretty impressive ending to the first hour of tonight's RWL Snarl. But we've got another whole hour to go, and there is huge stuff happening. So, folks, make sure you come back for the second half. We'll be right here when you do.